everybody, welcome back to a Minecraft modded server video. Today I'm doing a little bit of a different thing. The problem is this week has been a big old pile of chaos for me. So I kind of just had to record some video in my spare time while I was, I had roommates in the room and stuff like that. So it was a little bit harder to record. So I managed to get some video footage for you guys. I'm just going to talk over it. It is not really a whole hell of a lot that was happening. I had to just kind of whip out a video, so I hope you guys are okay with this. It's going to be slightly shorter than usual. I apologize immensely. It's just how this week has gone. I know that I missed a couple uploads as well this week. It's just been a little bit of a hard week in college. Cut me a little bit of slack. In the future, I'm sure that things will get much better and much easier for me. But today we're making a, area for farming, kind of, for my base. And I kind of, you'll see in a little bit, maybe, how exactly the layout works out. But it's a little tiny area that stems off of our main house. And essentially, I'm making a giant windmill. Because windmills are pretty dope, so why not make a giant windmill? It kind of gives that, farmy kind of feel to it. And I figured that it would work out pretty well for what we're doing here. So it's really just the same design that I've been working with already, which is basically just the different kinds of cobblestone in conjunction with a type of log. And in this case, we're using the dark oak logs because I feel like they look pretty nice. And I had a very large abundance of them stocked up in my place. So the plan here, I think that this will eventually be where we do bees, no pun intended with the where it'll be, but I do want to get into bees on this server because I feel like it could be very good as a business technique on the server, as well as just a thing that we can work on and do stuff with. So I think this is where we're going to do it, but I'm not 100% on that idea yet. I'm gonna see exactly what goes on, and if I feel like this is a good area, then we'll stick with it. I might want to put them somewhere else, make some kind of like secret laboratory or something with a really dope entrance or somewhere. We'll see. I do like how this place is kind of like in the proximity of my original base. It's pretty easy to walk back and forth. It's literally like a 5-second walk to get to my base, but we'll see. We have the teleporters. If I really need to set one up to be a teleportation to my bee laboratory, then maybe we'll do that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll work on it. Right now, I'm just putting a roof on this thing. You'll see exactly how this looks. It'll be a kind of medieval style windmill. We've done this kind of thing before in a building tutorial video. Whether or not you remember that is beyond me, since that was a while ago. I barely even remember it. But it will look pretty nice. It's going to be fairly straightforward, pretty simple. This is the same roof that I do on the majority of my steampunk houses. So if you've seen that tutorial as well, it's the same kind of roof. You just kind of stack up. It's one block, then a stair, one block, stair. And you can kind of see I just skipped ahead till we were on top here because that makes life pretty easy. So then making the actual windmill itself, the inside of it is where our storage, I guess, is going to be, and that's where we're going to keep, we're going to have some farms, we're going to have some animals around here. That's where we'll keep all of the goods that they produce, and I think that that's going to work out pretty well. Is it super realistic to as how a windmill works in real life? Not at all, but it'll look pretty, so that's kind of all that I'm going for here, and I think that it's going to work out pretty okay when you get right down to it. Looking at the windmill now, after coming back and doing this, I never actually filled in the back of it, so I'll probably do that when I go back on the server, whether that's in 2017 or in 2020 by the time I finally have time to get back on. I'm being a little bit facetious, but seriously, this week has been, very, very busy week, and I'm kind of hoping that not every week is going to be like this, because I've kind of been in the middle of hell for this week. Between coding and various other lab reports and projects, I've been it's been a little busy is all I'll say. So I'm still content with how this build turned out. It's not the greatest thing I've ever built in the world, and that seems to be a reoccurring thing. on the servers, everything I'm building is not the greatest thing that I've built in the world. But you know what? It still looks okay. And it gets the point across that I was trying to get across, which is just a pretty nice lighthouse kind of setup here. Not lighthouse, windmill. You can tell I'm tired. Just came back from a 2-hour lab. Cut me a little bit of slack. Life is just a nightmare. I want to ride it all night long. It's not really the lyrics to that song, but you get the gist of it. That pole that we stuck out is where the actual windmill is going to be. And we are going to start working on that here shortly. I'm going to use spruce wood for it because spruce wood is not, you know, dark oak, but it's a little bit lighter than it, and it kind of will blend pretty nicely with what we already have. I figured I'd include me getting Rochambeaued by 900 zombies and mobs here. I don't actually die, but I get pretty close to it, and that's acceptable, I suppose. Ow, this guy just continued to smack me over and over and over again. I did do a fair bit of flattening land. You can see we have the windmill in now. I did do a fair bit of flattening the land here, which I'm fine with. You know, flattening land is something that there I go, finally died. You'll see the walk right here. It's not that bad. But flattening land is something that I've tried not to do a whole lot in my builds lately because I like the terrain being kind of natural with how the world works, and then you building around the terrain. That's usually how you want to build in this game, is work around the terrain, not make your own terrain. But in this case, I needed flat land for farming, so I flattened the area a little bit. If we can go back in and add more depth to it, then I probably will, but it's going to really depend on what the long-term plans are for this area, and we'll probably work on this area a bit more in the next single player episode. Obviously in the multiplayer episodes, heaven only knows what we're gonna do. The raindrop drop top modifiable armor bookshop, it's getting good business. We've already collected a good 1.2 million diamonds because people really needed their books. I'm being completely facetious. Nobody in the world is ever gonna actually pay for that shop, which is good. You know, people should not pay for that shop. That shop was a joke. I actually had Klumpers message me and be like, yo, why'd you set up this shop? Nobody's ever gonna buy that. And I was like, thanks, Klump. I realized that. It's just a joke, bud. I get it. But anyway, this is our basic windmill. I like how it looks. It looks pretty something, I suppose. But it's gonna really look nicer when we get the farm around the outside of it. And we're gonna do that as well. It's just gonna be wheat for now. Because I'm kind of the opinion that just a basic wheat farm still has a lot of value in a modded game, especially if we're going to be trying to get the seed oil to do forestry related stuff. I think that having the regular old wheat would be good for us to do stuff. And frankly, I've been using toast as my primary food source, so we can continue to just make a lot of toast from the wheat that we get, and I think that that will look pretty damn okay here. So really, I'm just contouring the sides a little bit. I don't really like using the word contour. That sounds very weird in the context of this game, so I'm just adding depth to the sides. And you know, I've done 1 million building tutorials, and by 1 million I mean probably 10, but you guys kind of understand, hopefully at this point, that depth is what you want to do, and I needed a button on my windmill, so we climbed up to add that. I might die here. No, I don't. Okay, never mind. It was a very stressful half hour of recording when I did this, because there were other people on the server, and I was like, man, if I die 8 times, people are going to be judging me so freaking hard right now, and luckily they just didn't really care when I did die 900 times. But the main thing that stemmed this, we've had this sheep and this cow inside of our house for a good, I don't know, 2 weeks. And I'm kind of like, man, they need a home. Let's get them an actual area to live. So we are going to make a little stable, and I'm going to kind of map that out at the end of this video with exactly what I want to do with this area. Except for the bees. I'm still skeptical on the bees, whether or not I want them here or in some kind of secret Alexa lab or something like that. I think that would be kind of cool. But putting in the path, I figured I'd include this just because it's something that I actually do get on occasion. People asking me, like, hey, these paths actually look nice. Is there any rhyme or reason as to how you do it? And frankly, the answer there is I just literally took my pickaxe, moved in a general direction, and then just placed a bunch of random holes in the ground that I then filled in with andesite and gravel. And I do like the combination of andesite and gravel. You can throw in some half blocks as well, and that will look pretty nice. And we might want to do that another time just to add a little bit of depth to the ground here. But you can see I just add in the gravel, I add in the andesite, and it automatically turns into a nice little worn down path. And I saw this hill here and I was like, you know what? This is a good idea. Let's put this up. I had put some path here before. We might as well extend our gravel and andesite up here as well. And this basically, I like having, when I have a build on a server, I like having various ways to get to it. Connecting paths all over so that you can get a variety of stuff. The infrastructure of your server getting to look pretty nice. And that's basically what we did there. So then I wanted to set up the actual farms itself. Need an infinite water source, so we're going to set one up so that we can have infinite water over there. At least, you know, enough water to get where we need to go, and then if I need to make more in the future, it's not hard to make an infinite water source in this game. If anybody doesn't know how to do that by now, I'm a little bit concerned because that's basically Minecraft 101, but hey, maybe you're new to Minecraft. Welcome to 2009, everybody. It's nice to have you. But anyway, we're just going to hoe this land, and this is where we're going to have our wheat farms. And I kind of like the idea of having these random little Minecraft plants in the middle of the garden, but I do actually get rid of them, and instead we just bone meal in some long grass, and I think that that ends up looking a hell of a lot nicer. We add in some fences as well, just because we want to have kind of a fenced off area. It's not going to be all fenced off, just kind of a border around it. And I think that sometimes not doing things to the fullest degree makes them look nicer. And that kind of strategy works out with the paths that I do, because it's not a full andesite, full gravel path. It's kind of split up. You got the natural kind of thing going here. And flowers never look nice, so just kind of get rid of those and stick with the long grass. But you can see we're putting in our seeds here. It's going to look pretty full, pretty nice once it's actually all grown. And that's not actually visible in this video, so don't mind that. But you can see I didn't like how narrow the path was. We're going to extend it out a little bit. We got skeletons shooting us again, because that's basically what my life is in this game, is dying to skeletons. But that's no big deal, you know. It's fun dying to skeletons, really enjoyable time. But that's going to, like, basically do it for this area. We do still want to map out exactly where our animals are going to go, and obviously we also still add in our fences here, and you can see that sometimes less is more. We add in these fences and it's just a little tiny border around it, and it looks pretty damn okay. This mole was kind of pissing me off because it just would not die, and eventually we do get him to pop up, and then we finally do kill him. But you probably noticed the beehive there. We are going to do stuff with that beehive. I just didn't really want to make a scoop in this video. So we will end up knocking out that beehive, getting the bees from it. Obviously, meadows are good to start, meadow bees, and we will get those and then start breeding up the regular line of bees. The industrious and imperial, I believe. It's been a long time since I've done bees, man. I'm pretty excited to get back into it, but rest in peace, mole. He's officially gone. 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. He is way out of here. If we can get a pet mole in this game, we are naming it 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And that will be the greatest name for a mole ever. If you don't understand that pun, just wait until you get to junior year chemistry, and then you'll be psyched to understand that. Here's kind of my layout for where the fence is going to go for our animals. We'll put in a little stable or something, kind of get that all set up, make it look nice. If we want to put in a centerpiece here, then we will in the future, but I don't care for it. If you enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.